Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because, well, we're going to talk about money. Let's be honest, it dictates so much of our daily stress, the choices we make, and how we spend our precious time. Yet somehow, it's the one vital subject most of us were never formally taught. But today we are diving straight into the 4 foundational pillars that demystify wealth building once and for all. If you've ever felt like the rules of money were some kind of secret language, a very exclusive club you just weren't invited to, you are in the exact right place. We're going to unpack the 4 money rules that absolutely can and will change your financial future.
So let me ask you something. Why do most people stay broke? What if I told you that the biggest reason isn't actually a lack of income? I mean, it is incredibly frustrating to work so hard, day in and day out, pouring your absolute all into your job, only to feel trapped in this never-ending paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. It's kind of like running on a treadmill cranked up to max speed, but you never actually move forward, right? You make the money, you pay the bills, some unexpected expense suddenly pops up, and boom, it's all gone. The exhaustion of that rat race is completely real. But listen to me, it's not because you aren't working hard enough.
The real villain here is simply that nobody ever taught us how money actually works. Seriously, think about our education system for a second. We all sat in classrooms and learned that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. We spent hours and hours learning how to solve for x in complex algebra. But did anyone ever sit us down to explain a credit score, or the magic of compound interest, or even how to read a basic balance sheet? No way! Our schools are built to teach us how to pass exams, systematically ignoring real-world financial literacy. Basically, we were taught how to be really good workers, not how to build true wealth.
Okay, let's dive right into this agenda. First up, the financial education gap. Then, Rule 1, learn before investing. Rule 2, redefining your debt. Rule 3, the wealth mindset. Rule 4, assets over expenses. And we'll wrap it up with the blueprint for freedom.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the financial education gap, taking control of every single rupee.
Moving right along to Rule 1, learn before investing, where we start treating knowledge as currency.
Now, before we leap into the traps that literally drain our wallets, we need to completely bust a massive myth. Financial literacy isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's actually about taking back your power and treating knowledge as your ultimate currency. Because without that foundation, we fall victim to the absolute worst habits. We end up blindly following flashy social media trends. Throwing cash at some trendy crypto coin just because an influencer posted about it. Or maybe we listen to a coworker bragging about a random stock tip by the water cooler. And of course, the most dangerous trap of all, FOMO, the fear of missing out. Buying in simply because everyone else seems to be doing it. Honestly, it's a guaranteed fast track to losing your hard-earned cash.
So before touching stocks, crypto, or real estate, smart investors stop, they take a breath, and they apply a strict 3-step checklist. Let's walk through a hypothetical here, like buying a rental property. Step 1, you have to understand exactly how it works. In this case, tenants pay you rent for living in your space. Step 2, identify the risks. What if the property sits vacant for months or the roof suddenly caves in? Step 3, determine precisely how it generates a profit. Your rental income absolutely must exceed the mortgage, the taxes, and the maintenance. If you can't clearly explain these 3 things for any opportunity, you simply have no business putting your money there.
And that brings us to just a beautiful truth. Knowledge pays the highest interest. Seriously, the absolute best investment you will ever make is investing in yourself. Get this, some of the most successful investors in the world reportedly spend up to 80% of their day just reading and learning, taking courses, reading books, mastering new skills. This is the mandatory first investment. It compounds faster and safer than anything else on the market, completely insulating you from market crashes and terrible advice.
Okay, let's look at Rule 2, redefining your debt, what we call the debt dichotomy.
It is time to break a deeply ingrained taboo. We all grew up hearing that all debt is evil, right? That it has to be avoided at all costs. But smart money knows there is a stark dichotomy here. Bad debt is basically an anchor dragging you down. It buys things that immediately lose value. Think about swiping a credit card with a crazy 20% interest rate just to buy a depreciating luxury car or some designer clothes. Good debt, however, is like planting a tree. It helps you build an income-creating business or acquire an appreciating asset. Smart wealth builders intentionally utilize low-interest good debt, like getting a loan for essential equipment to start a lucrative side hustle, to generate even more wealth down the road.
And that brings us to the concept of smart borrowing. The smartest investors out there realize they should only leverage debt when 2 very specific conditions are met. They have a crystal clear plan to repay it, and it actively helps create future value.
Look, consumer debt is essentially a trap designed by banks to keep people stuck on that treadmill, endlessly paying interest. But when you apply this rule, you completely flip the script. Debt stops being a trap and transforms into a powerful, strategic tool for financial expansion.
Next up is Rule 3, the wealth mindset, and avoiding the scarcity trap. Your income literally begins with your thinking. It's psychological way before it is physical. If we firmly believe that making money is impossible, our brains are going to stay totally blind to the opportunities sitting right in front of us. Unsuccessful mindsets get trapped in extreme frugality, right? They're constantly asking, how can I spend less? But there's a hard floor to that. You can only cut your expenses down to zero. Imagine all that mental energy spent agonizing over saving $2 by skipping your morning coffee. Now imagine channeling that exact same mental energy into negotiating a $5,000 raise at work. Successful people ask the inspiring question, how can I earn more? Because there is absolutely no ceiling on earning potential.
Now, don't get me wrong, saving money is undeniably important, but it cannot be your only strategy. Following these 3 growth principles, thinking bigger, learning continuously, and taking calculated risks will have a massively bigger impact over time. And let's clarify what a calculated risk actually looks like in the real world. It doesn't mean recklessly quitting your day job tomorrow on a total whim. Actually, scratch that. It's more like spending your weekends meticulously building a side business while your main income keeps you secure. You're actively seeking to increase your skills and your income rather than just shrinking your life to fit your current paycheck.
Moving on to Rule 4, assets over expenses, the all-important cash flow rule.
This right here is the ultimate, non-negotiable litmus test for buying anything moving forward. It all comes down to 2 incredibly simple concepts. Assets put money into your pocket, and expenses take money out of your pocket. Middle-class thinking often focuses on buying liabilities, like massive TVs or brand new cars, that they mistakenly think are assets, but actually just drain their bank accounts every single month. Wealthy thinking, on the other hand, focuses strictly on acquiring true assets. We're talking investments or businesses that deposit cash into their pockets every month, even while they are sleeping. It's just simple math. Owning more assets than expenses is the irrefutable formula for financial freedom.
All right, bringing it all together with the blueprint for freedom. Remember, money is just a tool. So the big overarching truth of everything we've discovered today is that financial success, it's not a lottery ticket. No way. It's a completely repeatable loop. You start learning today. That knowledge allows you to increase your value in your income. Then, with that surplus cash, you invest wisely using the checklist we talked about. Those investments build your assets, and as those assets generate more cash, they free up your time to learn even more. It's this massive snowball effect. The sooner you start creating this momentum in your own life, the more your future self is going to thank you. So, will your next purchase make you money? Pause for a second and really let that sink in. Before you buy something expensive, I want you to ask yourself that exact question. If the answer is no, think twice about the true cost. Remember, money is just a tool, and you are no longer a victim of the paycheck cycle. You are the architect of your own wealth. The better you understand how to wield this tool, the better your life becomes. If you found the insights in this explainer valuable, please share it with someone else in your life who is ready to build their financial smarts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.